All right, this problem is formatted a little bit different, and the reason it's formatted a little bit different is because my entire left side has a fraction, okay? So if you remember when we were doing the other equations, I would have just the variable being divided. That's very different because right now this 7 is not being divided by this 2. But over here, the entire side is being divided. Now, technically, this is the distributive property. And the reason is because if I'm dividing by 2, that's the same thing as multiplying by 1/2. Now, I don't know if you remember this, but this is called the reciprocal. When I flip my fraction, so like technically I can make 2 over 1 is the same thing as 2, and if I flip it, that becomes 1 over 2, which is the reciprocal. So in that situation, I could technically rewrite this as instead of divided by 2, I could say 1/2 times negative 5m plus 1. And that is the distributive property. But we're not going to do that because I don't want you to have to worry about multiplying a fraction. So the way that we're going to handle this is we are actually going to do the distributive property, but we're going to do it with the fraction already in place. So this is the one time that we are going to multiply that fraction first, and we're actually going to do the distributive property without having the parentheses. So the 2 that's in the bottom, we're going to take that 2 that's in the bottom, and we are going to multiply that 2 to the other side as we would in any fraction. So what happens is because we have a 2 and a 2, technically it's going to look something similar to this. And you don't have to write this step, but I'm just showing you what it looks like. And what happens is just like with any other problem we multiply, that 2 divided by 2 simplifies to 1. So when you do this problem, you multiply by the 2, and you're left with just the numerator, because I can't add or subtract the 1 until it's no longer got a denominator. So I now have negative 5m plus 1 equals 16, and I can finish solving here. So combine like terms. There's no like terms on the left, no like terms on the right. So again, we do those separately. There's nothing to combine. We're going to look at moving of the variable. There is only one variable. That one variable is negative 5m. There's nothing over here. So now we're down to add, subtract, and then multiply, divide. So we're going to move that 1 over. So we're going to subtract 1. Okay. And once we subtract that 1, that's going to leave me with 15. So I have negative 5m is equal to 15. And then we're going to multiply or divide. Well, right now I have negative 5 times m because that's the coefficient. And then we're going to divide by negative 5. And so that's going to give me a final answer of negative 3. Now, if I check this in Desmos, I can split it up the way that I did previously, or I can write it with the different letter. Now, if you ever want to do a fraction, the best way to do the fraction is go ahead and hit the division key first, and it gives you a fraction template. So this is going to be negative 5, and again, we cannot use x if we're using the similar symbol, the squiggle. So that's going to be negative 5a plus 1 divided by 2. And then we're going to put the similar squiggle is equal to, and then we have 15. Actually, sorry, that was 16. Wait. No. It was 8. Sorry about that. I'm thinking about the work after we already did the problem. So that's going to be 8, and we get an answer of negative 3. Again, I can split them up. I can do the same thing here. Y equals, hit the division key first so you have the fraction, and we do need to use x here, so negative 5x plus 1, then go to the denominator, put 2. Y equals 8. You're going to find that intersection. If you ever have zoomed out too far, you can always hit this little home button on the side and then zoom again. And we also get the x value is negative 3 to check yourself.